Guys, you're welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be drafting and sewing a princess dart and an armhole princess dart bustier with an asymmetric neckline. Okay, so guys, basically what I want to do is just to rule a straight line on this pattern paper. This pattern paper is on fold because of the nature of the style, so you have to fold your pattern paper before you start drafting, because the style is one-sided. It's an asymmetric neckline and hemline. So I'm just going ahead now to impute shoulder to bust point, which is 11 inches. I'm repeating the 11 inches mark on this other side. Then shoulder to under bust is 15.5. I'm also repeating it on the other part. Then shoulder to my half length, which is also my waist length, is 19 inches. I'm repeating it also on the other side. Okay, so I'll just go ahead now. I'll connect all the points, the marks I've made. I'll connect them with this straight ruler. So let me just hold down that paper with that tape. So I'm also connecting this one, which is the under bust. I'm connecting the waist. Okay, I'm just connecting everything. Then from that waistline, I came down by 4.5 inches for my top length, that is my upper hip. Okay, so I just marked it as well. So I'm just labeling this, all these points, so that we'll know which is which. And then I'm going ahead now to impute my bust band, which is also called nipple to nipple. My nipple to nipple is 9 inches. Divide that by 2 gives you 4.5. So I'm just marking 4.5 all through. And then I'm going in with this, my ruler, to just connect all the lines straight up, just as you see me doing there. I've connected everything. Then I'm going in on my shoulder. I'm marking 8 inches. This 8 inches is my shoulder. 16 divided by 2 gives you 8 inches. And then I'm coming down by also 9 inches. And then I'm just connecting it like so. All right. I just marked it. So I'll go ahead and just connect it to the shoulder. And then my neckline is 3 by 3, but you can make yours wider, okay, so that it won't be too close to your neck like mine. I didn't want anything revealing. That is why I made it that close and tight. So you can make yours wider. So here I'm just coming down by 1.5 inches for the shoulder slope, and then I'm connecting it like this. All right, then I'm just coming in from the bust point to that straight line, 4.25, and then here 1 inch. Okay, then I'm imputing my bust measurement. 38 divided by 4 gives me 9.5. That is what I just marked. And I'll carry this curve ruler from this point to this point. I'll just connect the 3 points from my shoulder. Connecting this now, I'll go to my under bust and measure 1.85. I've measured it. Then I'll connect it now to the bust point. That is for my under bust contouring. I connected 1.85 there. And then I'm also connecting it to the armhole, like so. You see it. So the next thing I want to go is to go up from this armhole by 0.85 for the armhole tightening. I'll also connect it back to the bust point, just as you can see. All right, so I'll also come out there from that other line by the same 0.85, and I'll connect it. I'll still blend that line, guys. My under bust, I will input my under bust measurement divided by 4, and I'll replace all the darts. This 1.85 dart, I'll replace it. All right, then I'll bring down this line down to there. I'll also put my waist measurement. I'll replace the dart. This dart here, about 2 inches, I'll replace it. Any dart you take, always replace it. And also bring down the line to the hem line, okay? And I'll also measure it and replace the dart. You see that I'm replacing all the darts there, so I'll replace it there, and then I'll connect it with this ruler from the bust point to the waist, to the under bust, to the hem line. So I'm just connecting it like this from the bust point, under bust, waist, and then this is the upper hip. Okay, I'm just connecting it. So I'm done connecting it. So the next thing I want to do is to impute my bust dart, which is 3 inches. So I've imputed 3 inches bust dart on that bust part. See how I connected it? So I'm just trying to blend in that line so that it will look fine. So I'll just go ahead now and trace it out with my tracing wheel. Remember, this paper was on fold, or is on fold, okay, because of the asymmetric neckline and even the hemline. So I'm just using this tracing wheel to replicate it on the other side, okay. So when I finish doing it, I will use my pen and paper. I will use my pen and ruler, my marker, and then I will trace it back so that it will be on both sides. Don't worry, when I finish tracing it, I'll also use my pen to mark it out so that you understand what I'm saying. So anytime you draft on fold like this, you use your tracing wheel to trace all the lines out. When you open the paper, you will see what you will do next. You will just use your pen and your ruler to just trace it out so that your pattern will be open, so that any style you want to do, you can now do it because everything is showing. So let me just go ahead and finish tracing it, and then I'll go ahead and use my marker and bring it out. I already used this other part of the paper for something else. All right, so let me just go ahead and finish this one. So I've opened it, guys. So like I told you, the other part of the paper, I used it for another drafting, so it was showing, so I had to turn it. So this is what you do. You just use carefully. Make sure you trace it very well, because what I'm tracing right now, I can actually see my tracing wheel on it. The mark I made with my tracing wheel, I can actually see all the marks I made. So you trace it very well. So you use your ruler, okay, and just bring it out one after the other. You can actually use pencil for this. I'm using pen because it is more visible for this video. So I'm done doing that. Okay guys, so I forgot that I did not show you guys, I did not record the neckline. I'm going to use another paper to show you how I achieved this neckline, so don't worry. Later, before the end of this video, I'm definitely going to use another paper to show you, this neckline. It was when I was editing it that I noticed that I did not actually record where I was drafting the neckline. I'm sorry about that, but don't worry. I know that the neckline is very important for some of you. Don't worry, I'm going to still show you how to achieve it, because I actually later recorded it with a different paper, okay, on this video. So keep watching. All right guys, so now I just want to close the bust dart. See how I'm closing the bust dart? I'm just cutting it open. Okay, I'm trying to be sure of what I'm doing, so I'm just cutting it open, and then I will use my masking tape to close it. Please don't cut it through, okay? Don't cut it through, just cut it to the tip, but not through. Don't cut it out. Then use masking tape and just hold it the way I'm doing it, and then grab your ruler and trace it back. Grab your ruler and trace it back. So just reblend that line from your bust. I'm trying to put my ruler in a way that it will blend. See, blend it back, because you close the bust dart, so the line shifted. You have to reblend it, and then I'm just closing it. So I'll just go ahead and keep, cutting it out. Okay, so let me show you how I drafted the neckline. I just came down here, come down how you want it. So this is 5 inches from your shoulder, depending on how you want it. I am busty, so I don't want it to reveal my cleavage. So from that tip that I pointed, just draw a line like this to that your 5 inches to the tip of the neckline. So from the other side, from the other tip of the neckline, you also draw a line to meet that other 5 inches. You see that the shape has already come out. If you want yours to be deeper, you can come down more, okay? So you see it, I feel this one it will be too tight, so you can come down. I'm going to redo it again. So you can come down as much as you want, but know that the more you come down, the more likely it is to reveal your cleavage, especially if you're busty. Like me, I'm a size 30, but I'm actually busty. My breast is full. So mind the way you're doing it. You can make your neck wider. I know that this neck is 3x3. This neck is 3x3, so it's actually small. So you can make your own neckline 4x4. All right, or 3.5. So by the time you draft this neckline, it will be wide and it will still be balanced. Okay, so just you can draft it and see if it is too small, then you increase it. So this is just how basically I achieved the neckline. The neckline is very simple. So I'm just cutting it out on this pattern for you to see. I will still go back to the old pattern that we're working with, our normal pattern. I forgot to record this part when I was recording, so I had to do a different video. So this is the asymmetric neckline. See, it's very simple. So back to our video. So let me cut out the shoulder and then I'll go ahead and cut out our asymmetric neckline, okay? So this is it. You see how it is? I've cut it out. See how fine the neckline is. It's not so wide, it's not revealing anything, it's just there, just perfect. So okay, so this is the side. So this one is the other side. I'll go ahead and cut it out. All right. So the hemline is also asymmetric. So let me also close this bust dart. I cut the dart open and then I put the other one on top the bust line and close it. And then I redrew the line. I realigned the line because when you close your bust dart, the line will shoot. So I'll go ahead now. I'll just cut it out like so, making sure that bust point is not sharp. Please, if it is sharp, blend this. If you don't blend this, when you sew it, your bust part will be pointed. You don't want that pointedness. So just make sure you barb it. Just blend that bust part very well so that it won't give you that pointedness. Okay. Then this hemline, I'm going to reduce it from the side to this other side. This is how I want it to be. Okay, so see it. So I did not mark the center front. I will use this one now to mark it, and then I'll cut the center front so that they can blend. You know that one side of the top is asymmetric. Okay, so this is it, guys. So what I'm doing now, I just marked about 3 inches up there, and then I'm just cutting it out the way I cut out the side so that everything will blend. When I join it, you see it, this is how it will be when I join it. The other side is just normal. It's normal. So for the back, just the same thing we did. I'm just trying to mark all the line except for the waistline. The waistline of the back is 16 inches. The front waistline is 14 inches. The back is shorter, and we have closed the front dart, so it has also reduced the front to 16 inches. So they are now equal. So I'm making this my back 16 inches. The front is also 16 inches. It was 19 inches formerly. We now closed the bust dart, which is 3 inches, so making it 16 inches. So don't forget, if you're making your bust dart on your top, don't forget to make your back length shorter so that they will be equal when you're joining them, except you're making both of them the same length, which I do in most cases. So but in these cases I added a bust dart in front. Okay, so I've marked all the lines and then I'm just marking my armhole. I'm basically doing everything I did at the back except for the waist that I just explained to you now. Everything now is the same thing. My armhole, every other thing is just the same thing, okay, for the back. So this is me now labeling it. I'm just trying to also label it. I'm trying to come up by 4.2 inches and then I'm just marking my, I think I've turned the paper, 3x1. The neckline for the back is 3x1. It's not 3x3. Okay, so now I'm just trying to see how I can slant it by 1 inch. Okay, I'm trying to slant it by 1 inch while the front is 1.5, and I'm using this ruler also to connect the armhole the way I connected it for the front. I'm trying to align it so that everything will be okay. So I've gotten what I wanted. I'm just going to use this ruler to just connect it like this. And then the next thing I'm doing now is to add my nipple to nipple, and then I came up by half an inch because the dart is going to hit that half an inch upward. It won't stop exactly where it should stop. It shouldn't stop exactly at your bust point. So here I'm just trying to mark my dart. You can mark the dart at the waist, okay, but I want to mark it at this upper hip. But you can mark your dart at the waist and bring it down to the upper hip, okay. So okay, I want to use this long ruler. That is what I was trying to calculate. So I'm just trying to connect it from this point down to my upper hip, from the bust point, from that half inch at the upper part to my upper hip. So this is just it. It's very simple. So I'll use this ruler now to impute the princess dart. I like my princess darts going up. I don't like them going almost into my armhole. I like that princess dart effect. So I'm just blending it in so that it will not have bulge at the back, okay. Your back shouldn't be bulged because there's no breast at the back. It shouldn't be bulging. So I'm trying to check my measurement. I'm imputing my waist measurement. I'm trying to check it. 33 divided by 4. Okay, no, I'm actually trying to put my shoulder at my back slope to eliminate the zip bulge so that when I fix it, my zip will not be bulging out. So I just mark 0.85 at that waist point, and I'm connecting it up. You can connect it even up half inch or 1 inch after your neckline, or you can connect it to 3 inches after your bust point, whichever way. So I'm trying to just use this ruler to blend it in, to bring it down. You can actually use a straight ruler for this, okay. So just to eliminate that zip bulge, okay. So now I'm just going ahead now. I'm going to take my measurement. My measurement will start from that zip bulge now, no longer from the beginning, okay. So I'm imputing my measurement divided by 4. I will replace this little dart here. Always replace your dart. I'm going to replace it, okay. So I'm just trying to be sure. I'm also replacing that zip bulge. You have to replace everything so that your measurements will not be shorting, okay. So I'm measuring the upper hip, 39 divided by 4. All right, then I'm going to impute that measurement. I'm trying to peep into my measurement to be sure, okay. So I'm also replacing this dart. This dart is about 1 inch. I'm replacing it, okay. Then I'm just connect it like this. All right, connecting it like so. So this is it. I've connected it. All right, by the time I cut it and join it together, it will come back to shape, okay. So I'm done with that. So I'm just cutting it out. I'm supposed to put my zipper allowance, but I forgot. So on my fabric, I will just include my zipper allowance at that back. So don't forget to impute your zipper allowance when you're cutting it or before you cut it out. So even if you forget, don't forget to put it when you're cutting out the fabric, okay. So I'm just cutting it out, everything. This is the side. I've cut the center back. This is the side now. That back, make sure you blend it in so that it will not be bulging, okay. You don't need that bulge. So this is it. Let me just finish cutting everything, and then I will take it to the table. I will cut it on the fabric, on the lining, the wording, or the interfacing. I will cut them. I'm just trying to label it, okay. So I'll cut everything. These are all the pattern pieces, and then I've cut it on my, this is a velvet fabric, guys. That is why it's looking this dark, so black. So this is a velvet fabric. I've cut it out and I've even ironed it. See how I cut my wording and I padded it. See where the padding started from. It stopped at the under bust and it started after the armhole. See how I did it. So this is also, that one is the front, this is the back. There is no padding at the back, just normal wording. I just iron my wording on it. You can use your hairstay. I like using wording for it. Even for the padding of the bust, I also used wording, okay. But you can use hairstay, but it won't give you the same the same effect as wording. All right, so I ironed wording on all of them, and then I'm heading to my sewing machine now. I'm joining it. This is the center front. I'm just joining the first one side to side. I'm joining the side front to the center front, as you can see me doing. I'm done joining that one. Let me join the other part. All right, the asymmetric part. I'm joining the asymmetric part, the side that has asymmetric, okay. So I'm just joining it with about 0.85 allowance that I added. So don't forget to add your allowance when you're cutting it on your fabric. I added my allowance, and that is what I'm using to sew it. Okay, all right, so I'm just going ahead to sew it. I'm making sure that all my marks are correct. I like sewing exactly the allowance I have. That way it helps me. After making clothes, I hardly have issues with it's not my size, come and shape it for me, it's too tight, except on rare occasions where maybe the fabric was stretchy and it added to the allowance. So but I like sewing exactly the allowance I left. It saves me a lot of time. I hardly amend clothes after sewing. Okay, so I'm done joining it. All right, I'm done joining the center front. This is it. You see the asymmetric neckline. See how it's looking. So the next thing we want to do now is to join. I'm going to join the back one. After joining the back one, then I'll show you the next thing to do. Joining the back, all right, side back to center back. So I'm done joining the back. Now I want to join side by side. This is the back side. I'm joining it to the front side. Okay, so we're going to join all the main fabric together. Then you join all the lining together, okay? So that we use the lining and turn everything at the end of the day. So I'm joining the side of the back to the side of the front. That is what I'm doing. I'm going to do it on both this fabric now and on the lining, okay? So let me just go ahead and finish joining this one. I'll join the other side too. So I'm done with the other side. I want to join this side as well. After doing this, I'll just go ahead and I'll fix my zip, okay? So I'm fixing the zip to the main fabric. I'm not fixing it together with the lining. I've not turned the lining yet. Okay, I'm going to use the lining to do inseam finishing. I'll just use it to turn everything over. Okay, so this is me fixing the zip. I'm just trying to ensure that my zip is well seated. Please, when you're fixing your zip, go ahead and just take your time, relax, and you can pin it. You see that I pinned my own. It makes you it will make you come out with the perfect zipper. Okay, don't be in a hurry when fixing your zip. So after fixing the zip now, I will fix the other side. Okay, so I'm done fixing that zip, and I'm just going ahead to pin the lining to the neckline of the lining to the neckline of the main fabric. That is what I'm doing. I'm taking my time to show you this. So just use your pin the neckline of your main cloth to the neckline of your lining. So just pin it very well so that when you just go to the machine, you just run your stitches. You will not be dragging. You and your lining will not be fighting, or you and the fabric will be fighting. Okay, so this is it. I'm done pinning it, and I'm going to grab a hemming gum. I'm going to sew along with the hemming gum. I'm going to sew 1/2 inch, but I will sew along with the hemming gum. All right, so this hemming gum is good. You use a hemming gum so that when you are ironing it, it will also help the ironing to sit very well. You know, this is a neckline, so you don't want your lining to be popping out when you're when you're ironing it. This hemming gum will stabilize it. It will make it sit pretty. And when you're ironing it, please make sure a little of the fabric is showing. Like you push in the lining very well so that your lining will not be showing on the other side. It's better for your main fabric to be showing. Okay, for a finished work, push in your lining when you're ironing it so that it will not be showing on the right side of the fabric. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So I'm done. So just make a notch on that place, that pointed place. Make a notch so that place will balance very well. So I'm just going ahead to take off all the pins that I use. Please, that notch is very, very important so that neckline will balance. You know, it's pointed. It's not a straight line. So notch it. You can also notch other part of the necklines too so that they will balance on your body. Okay, so this is me. I'm just turning the neckline. This is me. I'm turning the neckline, the back neckline. Actually, I've turned the front. This is the back. You see that zip I fixed is still there, so I'm just removing the pin. I also sewed the other part. Okay, I also sewed it actually. So this is the hemline. So for the hemline as well, use a hemming gum. Okay, use a hemming gum and sew it. I'm trying to I actually forgot to add my hemming gum. I remembered it along the line, so I'll finish sewing this hemline from this end to the other end. I'll finish sewing it with hemming gum to the end of the other part of the side. Okay, I'm just trying to close everywhere with my lining. The only place that will be left open is my armhole. My armhole will be open. Okay, you even see it at the end of the video. That is where I'm going to turn out this clothes. Even the zipper side, I will also turn it out with the lining. After doing this, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, I'll just go and iron it very, very well. I'll show you what it looks like. Came out really beautiful. This your bust point. Notice that I trimmed off all the excess on my bust point on the Princess Dart. I trimmed it off very well. Just trim it off. Okay, if you don't want to trim it off, you can make sure you notch it, especially the under bust, the bust, notch it. But I advise you trim it off very well. Okay, so that everything will balance. All right. So I'm done sewing it. See it, I sewed it, the hemline, and I'm just going ahead to trim off every excess. You need to be trimming off your excess so that when you turn it to the lining, it will not be bulging, or to not be bulky. So that when you're also ironing it on your ironing table, it will be easy for you. So locate all the excess fabric you have, trim them off. You don't need it anymore. Just trim them off. Okay, so this is now the shoulder. I am joining the shoulder, lining to lining. Okay, fabric to fabric. That is what I'm doing on the shoulder now. I'm joining lining to lining, fabric to fabric. I'm just looking at it to be sure I'm doing the right thing, and when I was sure I'm doing the right thing, I continued. So make sure you check it out very well to avoid losing. Okay, check it out very well, pin it and see what it's going to look like before you sew. I do that a lot of time. When I'm not sure of the outcome, I'll just pin it and see, okay, this is how it will look like when I finish sewing it. And voila, this is it, guys. I went ahead and just made this decorative flower with my Ankara fabric. So this is it. This fabric didn't do justice to it because of the fabric is so dark, it's so black that, okay, so see the inside. I ironed it. The only place that is open in this my clothes is the armhole, which if I wanted to seal it, I would have just done the suit finishing, but I don't want to do suit finishing. So see how it's looking. I went ahead, I put a little sleeve, okay, with chantilly lace, and this is the zipper part. Everything is sealed. I sealed up everything. I like my work neat. I don't like my work to be rough on the inside, okay? So this is it. This is the zipper. It's looking so pretty, guys. Please, if you've not subscribed to my channel, do well to subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and share this video to as many people as possible. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.